Section 4.1, Solving Systems of Equations, Part 2. We need to find the solution to the following systems of equations using the graphical method. For this section to graph, I'm going to use the slope-intercept form. So the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope and b is my y-intercept. And it's going to look 0, comma b. So the first thing we need to do is solve for y on the first equation. So we have 3x minus y equal to 0. We subtract 3x on both sides. I have negative y equals negative 3x. And then we divide both sides by negative 1. So I have y equals negative divided by a negative is a positive, so 3x. So from here, my slope is 3. And my y-intercept, it's going to be 0, comma 0. That's all we need to graph. So the first thing we graph is our y-intercept, which is 0, comma 0. So right here, 0, comma 0. And then my slope is positive 3. We're going to do it over 1. So that means it's going to move 3 up and 1 to the right from the y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right. And then we're going to graph that line. We're going to do the same thing with the second equation. So we have 2x plus y equals to 5. So we subtract 2x on both sides. I have y equals negative 2x plus 5. So my slope here, it's going to be negative 2 over 1. So we're going to move 2 down and 1 to the right. And my y-intercept is 0, comma 5. The first thing we do is graph the y-intercept, which is 0, comma 5. So right here, 0, comma 5. And then we move 2 down and 1 to the right. 1, 2, and 1 to the right. 1, 2, and 1 to the right. 1, 2, and 1 to the right. And then we connect the points to make a line. Okay, so where my graph is intersecting, that's my solution. So here my solution is gonna be 1, comma 3. For example B, we're gonna use again the slope-intercept form. So remember, it has to look something like y equals mx plus b. So let's take a look at the first equation. We have x minus 2y equals 6. Subtract x on both sides. So I have negative 2y equals negative x plus 6. We divide everything by negative 2. This cancels out, so I have y equals a negative divided by a negative, it's a positive, so this is 1/2 of x. Positive divided by a negative is a negative, minus 3. So my slope is positive 1 over 2, which means we're moving up 1, 2 to the right, and my y-intercept is 0, comma negative 3. Let's go ahead and graph the y-intercept, 0, comma negative 3. So 0, comma negative 3. And then we count 1 up, 2 to the right, 1 up and 2 to the right, 1 up and 2 to the right. And then we connect those points to create our line. Let's take a look at the second equation. So we have 5x plus 4y equals 16. We subtract 5x on both sides. We have 4y equals negative 5 plus 16. We divide both sides by 4. So I have y equals negative 5 over 4x plus 16 divided by 4 is 4. So over here, my slope is negative 5 over 4. And my y-intercept is 0, comma 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph that. So 0, comma 4 right here, and then we count 5 down and 4 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and connect our points in order to create our line. So where my points are intersecting, that's going to be my solution. Okay. So my solution is right here. So it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and negative 1. So my solution, it's going to be 4, comma, negative 1. Let's take a look at example C. We have 2x minus 4y equals 16. So let's go ahead and solve for y. So we have 2x minus 4y equals 16 minus 2x on both sides. Negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 16. Divide everything by negative 4. So y equals negative divided by a negative is a positive. We can simplify this to 1/2. So 1/2 of x. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. So negative 4. So over here my slope is 1/2. And my y-intercept is 0, comma, negative 4. Let's go ahead and graph our y-intercept. So 0, comma, negative 4. And then we count 1 up and 2 to the right, 1 up and 2 to the right, 1 up and 2 to the right. Let's connect the points to create our line. Okay, let's graph the second line. We have negative x plus 2y equals 5. Add x on both sides. So we have 2y equals x plus 5. Divide everything by 2. So y equals 1/2 of x plus 5 over 2. That means that my slope is 1/2 and my y-intercept is 0, comma 5 over 2. And 5 over 2 is actually 2.5. Okay, let's plug in our y-intercept. So 0, comma 2.5, 0, comma 2.5, and then 1 up and 2 to the right, 1 up and 2 to the right. We connect our points to create our line. As you can notice, my lines are never intersecting, which means that there is no solution for this system. Example D, we have 4x. Example D, we have 4x plus 3y equals 12. We subtract 4x on both sides. So we have 3y equals negative 4x plus 12. Divide everything by 3. So y equals to negative 4 over 3x plus 4. So my slope is negative 4 over 3. And my y-intercept is 0, comma 4. For our y-intercept, we graph 0, comma 4. So 0, comma 4. And then 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We connect our points to create our line. Right here. Now we have negative 8x minus 6y equals negative 24. We add 8x on both sides. So we have negative 6y equals 8x minus 24. Divide everything by negative 6. So y equals a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 8 over 6, we can simplify it to 4 over 3x. Negative divided by a negative gives me a positive, and 24 divided by 6 is 4. So my slope here is negative 4 over 3. And my y-intercept is 0, 4. We're going to graph our y-intercept, which is 0, 4. So right here, then we count 4 down and 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 to the right. So what's happening here? As you can see, the points are on the exact same line as the other one. What happens when we graph our line? Now our line is on top of the black line that we had there before. That means that they are the same line. Therefore, this has infinite many solutions.